Welcome back on Deynon. Today I want to propose you a video about another development about the road to Diorama, and this is the starting point. I decided to create such series of video starting from these changes, this diorama that I realized, and the idea comes from the setbox of Age of Sigmar, the first releasing. You can find also this model eventually in the Thunder Brothers collector, so you don't have problem about finding this later. But it's the idea that changed, and it comes from wanting to reutilize the miniatures that were inside this box itself. And you can find the seed about this idea in the booklet that it's inside this releasing. And you can find a lot of nice images that you can use as a referring, because it's quite important to have such ones as a referring to know which ones go to see, and having, for example, the idea for dioramas, for positioning some parts of the models and so on. And here we can see a detail about the image that attracted my eye. So never flip aside these booklets, these images, because they can be really quite interesting as a referring to use for your armies. Moreover, use this as an inspiration for having some themes for your background, for your bases and so on, because everything can be used. They are really quite nice, referring to have a view about. And here we can see the pieces that are involved, so the part about the Relictor and the part about the Khorgorath that will be fused together to create the diorama itself. And the first thing that we have to do is to remove the rock at the base of one of the feet of the Lord Relictor, because it will be put on the Khorgorath, so we don't need such piece in the background that we are going to create. Then we take the image that we want to use as a referring, and we try to make the positioning the closer that it's possible, and decide if it's possible using the Patafix to solve certain issues, for example to change the positioning in the way that it's quite similar, or use the thought about deciding if it's good to make a cutting and repositioning of everything. So we have to pay attention which parts we want to cut or not, if it's good to cut or not. So we have this part that it's the planning, basing and comparing it on the imaging that we have as a referring to create this diorama, this modification. One thing that I liked a lot were the strings of scrolls that were flipping up, because they were giving a lot of interesting movement on the model itself. So I decided to simply flip them on the upper part, but there were a little gap that we were creating. So I cut some strings from the spruce, the residual of the spruce that you buy, that were about the large part that I needed and long enough to be cut after if I needed, or anyway to be covering the gap that were created. And here there is the result, so I like the result. Maybe the only thing that I would correct now, retrying it, is trying to make some incision on the strips that I added, to make that there are letters that take and continue the other writings on the scrolls themselves. But I like anyway the result, so for me it's good enough to be put in such a way. And then we make the work of painting and pinning the two models together. I decided to make the pinning, and you can find the way to do such a thing in the Road of Diorama Stormcast Eternals Part 2, so you can see that one as video to know how to do such things, but anyway I'll put the playlist about the road to Diorama in the description that you can have a referring to. Anyway, this is an important step, because in this step you decide the real positioning for the models. Usually I'd use magnets. In this case the problem was that the model would not have been quite stable if I had used magnets, so I decided to use in such a way the pins. The only thing that I modified now as it is, it will be the standard, the icons, because in that case I'd make that the countlet it magnetizes so that I can remove and put on. This cause it creates a hike in the model, so it's a problem that it's a bit more problematic to store such model. But anyway, because it's a character and it's only a height problematic one, I don't have such a lot of problems. Simply I prepare a special space only for it. And then we had to create the base itself, and to position in the model I decided to use the contact with the Khorgorath to the base, but also to use some residual about the spruce, and I use everything as you can see about it, in the way that we can have this cover the uneven space, because you have to remember that we have a model that has a back that it's uneven, and it's the part that will go on the base itself. So to make it the anchorage more stable and also to occupy less space about the color, in this case the usually snow about the Vallejo, okay, but here I need such option in the way that we have a better positioning of the model and a better stable, so we have more anchorage while we are going to use then the colors and so on, and so it's really quite useful in such a way. And then there is the final painting, so we have to put everything together. So the base is glued on the model, so it's not problematic, but we have to refine. So now is the part to put the lights on the model itself, so we can accentuate the skin, we can accentuate for example parts that are about the skulls, we can make the shadowings, so we can put a lot of options on the model. And now it's the way so that you can perfect it. And as you can see, I decided to plan it as a model of the Anvils of Heldenhammer, because it's the way that I wanted to play the models, even if the base of the image that you've seen it's related about another Stormcast Stormos, so it's not a problem. It's up to you decide how you want to perfect. Also, for example, the Agorax, I decided to paint it in a particular way, so not completely red, a bit reddish but more pinky, so it's a way that you can decide how to perfect, how to develop your scheme of colors and so on. It's up to you. You have simply to plan how to make the progressing. It's that part that it's more important, because the painting themselves can be adapted to your needs. So simply take the idea on your mind, then try to develop it, maybe taking some notes and so on, and then start to realize. And here you can see the comparison as the one that we had yet to put on the base and finish completely, and the finished model. It's not completely the same. I changed a little the angle of the model that was on the base, but it's not a problem because I decided to do such a thing. So I proved, and then I decided to make such modification. Not think that you have to follow from the beginning to the end the idea without any deviation. You can adapt based on your taste and on your needs. So simply take it as a reference and step by step adjust as you like, because you are free to adjust everything as you see fit. I like a lot this comparison between the final result and the original idea, because it makes me see if I realized as I wanted. It's a little different, okay, but it's not a problem because I like the concept. It's the really similar sheen but not identical one, and it's a way to make different moments of the art that it's quite similar. So my one, it's the way to have it a bit before that the hammer landed on the monster, and the other one, the original one, it's when the hammer is yet landed on the model itself. So I really like the different momentum of the two images, because one, my model, it's one momentum that is the approaching, the other one is the ending. So I really like such difference, and it's the one that I was searching for. So this model can be thought, and it is, the beginning of the road to Diorama and the main idea about my ideas for the conversion of the army about the Stormcast Eternals based on the Anvils of Heldenhammer. And simply I hope that you liked. So, from Deynon Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.